Hello! This little 10-minute stretch and flex video is going to focus on the lower back, which is a problem for many of us, and for the legs, because this is an antidote to seating, and when you've been sitting all day, legs and buttocks are a huge muscle, so not only by working them will you burn a few more calories, but also they will pump a whole lot more circulation around the body. You'll function better, you'll be able to think more clearly, so it's quite an important balance to all the seating that lockdown forces us into. And first of all, just to warm the lower back, we're just going to do a simple tap. Let your hands hit around the waist and the sides, waking that area up, and also feels nice for the shoulders too. So take a nice wide stance. We're going to dip and stand, and at the same time roll your fists. You've got little knuckles. We're going to tap the top of our hips, and then as we sink, tap our quads. It's a big muscle, so this tapping, it's actually gentle, though it doesn't sound it, and is gently going to stimulate your muscles, get the blood and circulation waking up, as well as the motion itself, which is going to start helping balance all that sitting that we do. And when you're working on the legs, it also really helps the lower back, because the lower back, hips and legs are all interconnected. Doing one helps the other. So hopefully you're feeling a little bit more warmed up in the legs. We're ready for a little bit more. So we're going to sink our weight into one side and then shift our weight into the other. Keeping the knees soft, body is upright, no bending forward. Just feeling relaxed as you shift side to side. Now, it's quite nice to allow the body to find its natural flow. So what's quite nice is to, as you bring your weight side to side, is let the hips swing back a little. If that doesn't happen for you, that's fine. Just go with what your body likes. So it's kind of tracing a figure of 8, which is incredibly lovely for your lower spine. Again, movement is one of the better ways to release tight, tense muscles, because they're normally tight and tense because of being static, of being stagnant for a long time. Therefore, movement and getting circulation into the muscles and the connective tissue is going to help release them better than long stretches. And now you can start drawing, swishing, kind of figure of 8 pattern to go along with it. Or you can just let your arms just swing. Another option is to roll back the shoulders. That helps the swing back of the hips. So this really wakes up the hips, the lower back and the thighs. And if you're doing shoulder rolls, you're getting a full body motion and movement. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to wake up the lower half as well. So a wide stance, and get a pelvic tuck. I'm going to raise one heel, pause there a moment, lower that, and open the other. By opening and widening your hips, this is going to help your lower spine as well. And just raising one heel and then the other, taking little dips as well if that helps. If it is too uncomfortable with such a wide leg stance, just bring it in, or just bring the knees together all together, or you can do it seated. So just getting a little bit of flex. So in a way, so we're getting a nice stretch in the feet, because that's another thing that when we're stuck indoors a lot, we're not Let's have had a nice long walk, mostly if you're stuck at an office or at your device, you're not getting quite that range of movement. Turn the toes front again, and we're going into a chair pose, which I find is a really quick, instant way of waking up all this area of the body nice and safely. So I'm turning sideways for demonstration purposes. Reach your arms forward so they're shoulder height, and have your feet as close together as you can for balance. Reach your hands forward and slowly sit down. So you're going to be sitting on an invisible chair. Now, when you're at a height that is manageable to you, you want to push your booty a little further back, like you're just about to perch on something. Keep reaching forward. Now, at this stage, you want to tuck the pelvis because there's a natural arch there. And you want to tuck that pelvis. That will stretch into that lower back. So it's lovely for the lower back, but it's also firing up these thigh muscles. So the hands as well can be a counter stretch. So as they point in one direction, the booty goes in the opposite direction. Keep that pelvic tuck. You should feel waves of heat. This is a strong move. It's using all the biggest muscles in the body. And then gently come to standing. If you want, you can rise on the toes and release. Have a little break and a stretch and a flex. Lovely. So we're going to do the chair again, and just go as low as you can bear. And we're going into a twist as well, so that will help the lower back too. So I'll stand at an angle. So reach forward, come into your chair pose. So sitting just at the point where it's comfortable for you. Then move those hips further back so you can clearly see your toes beneath you. Bring hands to prayer. And then we're going to bring an opposite elbow towards opposite knee and come down. Now, if that's too much, just bring opposite hand to opposite knee. Bring the other hand on the hip. And what we're trying to do is get a twist through the torso and a stretch in the back. If it's accessible though, and you can come down and place your hands together like so. Push hard into the palms to really press this top shoulder back. Try not to have one knee come forward. You do a little bit of a correction so they're in line. And take a few breaths. And come up. Have a stretch up. Come up on the toes, and we'll do the other side. So sitting low, arms forward, hands to prayer. Make sure your booty is back and that you can see clearly down to your toes. Prayer hands, and then either go into the full expression, hooking that elbow across the opposite knee, making sure one knee doesn't come forward of the other and pressing those hands together, or you can just bring opposite hand down to the side of the leg, other hand onto your hip, and then just twist. So you're getting a nice twist through the spine. And then raise up, reach tall, and release. And as a little counter stretch to that, we're just going to do a few little booty kicks. So that's just flexing your foot behind, and nice little knee strengthener too. And a good stretch in those quads. Quads get incredibly tight. It gets to the point where it's a struggle to crouch. So practicing things like chair pose that we've just done is a really nice way of keeping your strength and flexibility in your hip flexors and your quads, so that simple things like being able to crouch down and pick things up remains something accessible. And this is one of my favourites for lower back, torso rolls. Wide stance, hands on hips, pelvic tuck so the tailbone's pointing downwards. Excuse me. Tilt to the side like a teapot, and then come forward with a completely flat back. So really pull those abs. I'll go sideways to demonstrate. So you want your back up. It's better to be there than to be down there. So you want a really, really straight spine, and you're just going to swoop the torso to the side and then come straight up. Okay. So wide stance, soft knees, pelvic tuck. Here we go. Tilt, roll, keep that back straight. You won't get the benefit if you allow yourself to fold forward. It's better to do a more shallow circle and keep the integrity of your spine. But oh my word, that feels lovely. That absolutely feels lovely. And then reverse direction. Lovely torso rolls. Keeping that spine flat, pull the abdominal muscles in, that will help support that lower back. So it's just a pivot at the waist, and we're just gently moving and rotating those muscles. Lovely. And as a final touch, to have a nice back stretch, you can do a sort of downward dog against a wall or a door, or hold onto a windowsill or anything, and just take a step back, push through your shoulders, push your bottom out, and just find the stretch that feels good to you. You might move it in. If you really want to get into the lower back, to have soft knees soften it, you can get quite deep, and then just push, 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 and you feel a lovely, lovely stretch. So use a chair, anything, sofa, whatever will help. And I hope you benefited from that little 10-minute lower back and legs mini workout, stretch and flex. If you enjoyed it, please do click the like button. If you haven't so far, I'd love it if you subscribe to my channel, and please leave a comment below. That's all I'm very gratefully received. Thank you.